Hi Soapies, Sherry here from Misty Dimness AMD Soap, and today I'm playing a little bit with a new tripod and camera angle and some different lighting setups. So I thought I'd do a trial video of just how I line my molds. So for my molds, I use wooden loaf molds typically. So the width of my mold of the inside dimensions is just about 3.5. It's just a touch over 3.5, and that's what I want to cut this first piece to. So I'm going to cut along the length of the paper, and I'm going to cut just a bit shy of 3.5, because when I go to make the little cut mark, because of this end here, I actually wind up with a little bit of extra dead space. So I cut it just a bit shy, about a 1/16 of an inch shy. And I cut 2 of these end pieces at once. I don't use both of them. It's just way easier for me, and I get way straighter lines if I cut 2 of them at once versus cutting one. I think it's because then I have a nice straight line here to follow, so I wind up with straighter cuts. So here is one of my end cuts at 3.5 inches long, and I've left it the width of the paper, and I've just cut the length to match the width of my mold. So what this will do, this will sit in here and fold over like this. And I could totally use both of these, but I don't, because I don't need to cover this whole bottom part of the mold. So I'm going to go cut that in half when I go to actually place that in the mold. And then, so there I have my 2 end pieces to cover these ends of the mold. So now I'm going to cut the paper that's going to cover the side walls and the bottom of the mold. So my mold is 24 inches long. So leaving the width of the paper, I'm going to measure the length, but I'm going to only measure just slightly less than 12, because I'm going to fold it in half, so that way when I do my cut, I have a full 24 inches. I hope that makes sense. And again, I'm cutting it just shy of 12, that 1/16 inch, for the extra where the ruler lies at the end, for the end of the ruler. Okay, so now that I have my cuts done, the cuts are really, my opinion, that's what takes the longest. Okay, so we're going to take our end pieces, and as I said, I'm going to cut that in half, one for each end. And I just don't need freezer paper on the bottom, so it just seems wasteful to have a lined freezer paper for both the end and the sides. So I'm taking just some green painter's tape, and I'm going to tape on one side, and then I'm going to form it over the lip of the mold, and I'm going to push down, and this might be kind of hard to see from that angle, so we're going to tip it up like this. So I push it down till it kind of forms a little bit of a crease, but because I don't want rounded soap edges, I'm going to fold the bottom part up, so that way I can get a really nice sharp crease in that corner and not have rounded edges of soap. So this is the natural width of the paper, and this is the length of the mold that I cut along my freezer paper. So what I do is I just line up this edge with the bottom of the mold on this side here, so you can see that, and then I do my folds over the lip of the mold. And of course, today's the day when things are not going smoothly. And then I just lightly press everything in. It looks like I'm going to have to do a little bit of cutting. It's a little bit wide today. So once I do some cutting, that'll smooth out those wrinkles and whatnot. So now I can go ahead and press in my corners, line my mold, push those corners in, and right here, I'll turn it so you guys can maybe see a little bit better. Maybe I gotta get used to my directions. So right here, there's a little bit extra, so it's not folding over really nice, and it's wrinkling up the sidewalls. So what I do there is I just give that corner a little bit of a snip, so that way it will form around that corner a bit better and set up. So that's it. That's all I do. You can see that putting in this liner helped tighten up these end pieces, covered up. I do have a little bit of a gap here, but that's my end piece that my cutter is going to cut off as part of the sample bars, so I'm not going to worry about it. So the line here where it's folded, I feel like I'm doing a lot of mold spinning. Whew. So these lines where it laps up that are going to be left in the soap bar, I'm also not going to worry about those. They go into the free samples that I give out. Yeah, so I'm getting ready to make the wild peach and poppy soap. Hopefully this time it goes according to plan. Thanks guys for watching this soap lining video, and stay tuned for the other soap videos that are coming up. Be sure to check out our soaps on amdsoap.com, and like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks guys. Stay soapy.